So yeah, there's the Samsung. There's how it stacks up size-wise to a GoPro. So you see they're about the same size. Actually, maybe it's a little smaller. Just it's wider. It's a cube, just like a, or not cube, but a ball sphere, like a little BB-8 from Star Wars. So, that is very cool, I have to say. Now, I went ahead and deleted some of the early videos I did because I didn't know what I was doing. And I was putting them out there and all fuzzy. And I was encoding them the wrong way. Same learning curve, man, that I'm having to deal with. I had to deal with the GoPro. At first I didn't know what in the crap I was doing. I was putting out crappy GoPro videos, and then after a little bit of time, you get to where you're putting out better and better stuff. So these are the videos from this, just going to get better and better. So you see it's got a camera on the front and a camera on the back and big old fisheye lens on either side, and it shoots the whole everything 4K once it's stitched together. But it's a weird kind of 4K in that, at any given time, like when you look at 4K on your computer screen, you're seeing all of it at once. It's this super sharp looking image. But when you got 4K wrapped all the way around your body, from the top of your head to the tip of your toe, then what you really see on the screen in the window you're looking at any given time is probably less than 720p. But you're gathering that 4K image from all the way around you. So it's not ever going to be as sharp, this camera as sharp as what you're getting from a GoPro. But I have to say, I don't know if you've held your phone up and looked and watched one of those videos and turn your phone around, and it's like if you were to mount that phone in front of your face like a virtual reality camera, and you turn your head, it's just exactly like you're looking around, and you look up and down with it. And so that's the coolest thing. Is I honestly didn't realize when I was getting it that I was getting into virtual reality. I just hoped I could get video from all the way around with one cam. I wasn't thinking in terms of virtual reality, but now I'm realizing I've entered that world without even thinking about it. And these things are pretty darn cool. And do I think it's like the best camera for what it is and for the price? For $370, that is pretty sweet that it does that. And let's face it, the GoPro version that does 8K rather than 4K is $5,000, and it takes 6 GoPros to do it. This one with one little camera, with 2 cameras contained in one sphere, does 4K for $370. And it came from Korea in no time. I ordered it on Monday. I had it on Thursday. That fast. So if you order it from Amazon, you can get into that world right quick. It's just learning what to do with the video once you've got it. And it takes a while to stitch it together when you first open up the files. It's 2 big round files. You got one from the front and one from the back, and then you have to run it through some software that actually pulls it in and stitches it all. And it's this bizarrest looking thing. But then when you upload it to YouTube, YouTube knows how to turn it into a 360-degree VR file. And so that's the key, just learning what steps you got to go through. And I haven't posted a video yet, but there are some out there. I think I can do better than some of the videos that are out there explaining it, because I can just do it faster, I think. So I'm going to try to explain, as short as possible terms, how to stitch that video together and get it out live. But I'm going to go to all the places I've been going to in the past where I've stood there and I've had to pan around and tell people what they're seeing. And now I'm just going to go there and I'll put a camera on a pole and I'm going to stand there and talk about these places and say, well, there's a waterfall over here. If you spin around to the back, you'll see, where the creek empties into the valley or whatever. And I'll let people decide what they want to do. And if they want to go see that video, they can watch it 10 different times and watch it differently every single time. That's what I think is really amazing about the whole thing. And I don't know if you saw any of the driving videos, Rich. The first one I put out, again, I didn't know what I was doing, but now I've understood how to do it a little better, shooting at the right resolutions. And it's a better driving video camera than a GoPro is. It's not as sharp straight out the front, but it's more what I've always dreamed of having. I've always wanted a driving video where you could actually look around and see what's over here and look around and see what's over here without having to have 3 or 4 cameras out there and then some weird way of cross-jumping back and forth in the way I've been doing it, the producer tells you what to look at. Now, you as the viewer, you get to decide what you want to look at. If you want to look at the big church over here or the castle over here or the dog taking a crap over there, you can look at all those things, So,
that's what I was thinking about as worrying me, is that you have the 360 camera pointing away at front of you, and sometimes I might be scratching or picking my nose or something, but everybody's going to get to see that now.
Scratching your ass, they'll see it all. Well, it can't see behind you unless you put the camera behind you.
When you've been through the process and stitched it together, can you move that file into Premiere Pro, or does it not recognize it?
Actually, my early failures, those first 3 or 4 videos I put out there that looked all fuzzy and everything, was because I was encoding wrong coming out of Premiere. There's actually a button in Premiere that I've never paid any attention to, and I don't know if it's just been in the most recent versions, but when you go to export to H.264, there's a thing where it says, is video a VR video? And you have to push that button, and then it knows what to do to encode the video the right way. And of course, you want to keep it at very high bit rate. This shoots, I'm surprised, a GoPro will shoot at about 60 megs a second in 4K. Those Sonys we have will shoot up to 100K or 100 megs per second. This only shoots up to 50. 50 megs a second is as fast as it goes, and it's got a 48 meg per second card in it. So I guess that's 48 and it counts 50 the same. It's maxing out the little card that's in there. And I tried putting one of those 95 meg per second cards like we use in our GoPro in it, and it gave me an error. So it didn't like the 95 meg per second card. And I don't know if I might try it with another card just to see. So I don't know if that was just an anomaly or what, but I tried putting one of my very fast cards I use in the GoPro. It didn't work. But this, it has a 48 meg per second card from Samsung. I think it came with a 32 gig card. And yeah, it's you can take it into Premiere. The first thing you have to do, the workflow, I'll just give you real fast so I don't bore you. But you copy it off into a folder. You bring it into this program called Action Director. Or if you have the right kind of phone, you can stitch it together on your cell phone. I don't have the right kind of phone. I'd need a modern Samsung, one of the latest models of the Samsung phones that do it. Mine's too old. But so I bring it into the computer. You have a program called Action Director, which is huge. It's like 580 megs to download it. So that's one downside. You have to have a big download and a big program from a company called Cyberlink that makes Action Director. But you pull it into Action Director, and I guess you get it for free when you buy the camera. So I guess Samsung maybe owns Cyberlink. I don't know. And as soon as the file comes in, again, it's too big. It shows like a big square with 2 big round pieces of video on it. And as soon as you've pulled it into the program, it automatically, without you even having to do anything, it starts stitching it. So you sit there and if you've shot 5 minutes of video, it might take 2 hours to stitch it. If you've shot 30 second clips, it might take 10, 15 minutes to stitch it. So it's one of those kind of things where you might as well go get a sandwich or watch some television while it stitches. Once it's stitched together, though, you can export it to just a regular old. It's a strange looking file, but you can export it over to Premiere. You can put titles in it. You can put music on it. You can cut the bad parts out. Whatever you want to do. You can even one of the things that's pretty cool is like, say you've got a waterfall over here, but you wish the waterfall were in the middle of the screen. There's a thing you can do in Premiere called Offset. And Offset will take that video, and so you can slide the waterfall into the middle, and all the pixels that were over here go back around and come back to the other side and move in. So what you can do, you can control what the initial area of focus is. So like, say you're riding around and there's a lot of boring stuff around either side, but there's something real important like a big mountain or a waterfall or whatever, in the foreground. You can use Premiere to adjust that center of focus, and everything else turns. So that's a pretty cool feature. Premiere is a dream to work with it. It's another step you got to go through, and you can export just fine out of that Action Director. Some of the video I've been posting has just been straight out of Action Director. It's just you couldn't do voiceovers probably with it. I mean, it looks like it'd be clunky, like aggravating. You can add a music track, but not nearly as elegantly as in Premiere. There's a lot of those cool things you want to be able to do in Premiere that you can't really do with it, or if you can, it's just aggravating to do it. So I'm going to definitely be doing most of my editing in Premiere. But Rich, it's pretty sweet. You'd enjoy it. I mean, you're the drone man now, and those drone videos look great. So, but at the same time, it's pretty cool to some of the places you go to, particularly the old historic places and all. It would be neat to just hold it there for 20 seconds so we could take a look around. I mean, I could really see it being something valuable to you. And I don't know if you you'd buy it from the UK. Yeah, I guess you'd buy it like I did, maybe from straight from Samsung out of Korea.
Yeah, they've got them. I had a quick look on Amazon today, and they are £345 in this country. So the equivalent to what you pay in dollars, they are in pounds here. And that was with the memory card. How long's the battery lasting? How was that? How are you finding it?
Well, you know, that is a good question because I did a lot of weird things with it yesterday. It'll start night before last. So I don't know. I've not shot. The thing is, I shot a bunch of video. I did one time lapse where it was running for probably about an hour and 10 minutes. I've not posted that. And then I did a whole lot of just sitting around with it, looking at it, trying to learn the menus so I could do a how the menus work, but how the buttons work video. So I sat for hours just playing around with it, trying to master what all the buttons are. So I don't know, with it actually on and shooting, I know I got well over an hour worth of video and probably an hour worth of time lapse and probably an hour worth of just sitting monkeying with the menus. So, but continuous video, I feel it would get at least 90 minutes, maybe more. I don't know. I will eventually try that. And of course, I'm guessing just like any other device you get, depending on what frame rate and everything you're recording in. I mean, I'm always going to be recording in 4K with this. I don't see any reason to go shoot a 960p or a 1080p or a 1440p because I want people to see things sharp. And so what you've been seeing the last couple of videos, I sent you an email so you can see that one video where I redid the driving video. If you saw the first version of it, it was fuzzy as crap. The last version I put, it's still slightly fuzzy compared to what you've seen with GoPros, but you can at least read the signs and stuff now. And it's just as good as any 480p or probably 720p video you're going to see. So yeah, I'm always going to be shooting in that very high res version so I get something pretty acceptable to the eye when people are watching it.
Because I just wondered how the difference when you uploaded it to YouTube, how different it was to when you did it prior.
As you know, it is. It is different. It's if you're looking at it on your computer screen using Action Director, then it's twice as sharp as it is. I mean, YouTube's going to compress it. It compresses the VR videos just the same as it does the other ones. So it's interesting. One of the things I'm testing right now, I have it rendered outside there right now. It may be finished. Is you know how I found out years ago that if you've got a 30 frame per second video and you upload it to YouTube at 30 frames per second, it's not as sharp as if you downscale it. So I just did one that was 24 frames per second. So I just knocked 6 frames per second out of it. It will still look nice to the eye when you see it. It's a walk around of my garden. So I'm looking to see, because I've lowered the frame rate, will YouTube encode it at a little higher bit rate, which I believe it will. So it may just be negligibly better, but this will be the first time I've been able to show people my garden really the way I want to. I walk around and you know, whereas me just pointing here, oh, here's the blueberry bushes, here's the asparagus, here's the hammock or whatever. Now you can walk around. If you, I'm serious, what I would encourage people to do is get their, I've got a, what is it I've got, baby? The Google, it's one of those Google pads. Oh, Nexus 7 is what I've got, Nexus 7. And the coolest thing is take that Nexus 7 and put it about 6-8 inches in front of your face and then stand up and watch my video and just turn around. And you can just stand and play, just spin around in place. You know, you're walking around a little bit and just, you know, just look at whatever you want to and turn, you know, just actually pretend like you have some virtual reality goggles on. Now the thing it's not doing 3D. I mean, in other words, I guess you'd have to have 2 cams doing it to do. I don't know how you'd do it in 3D, but what it would be if you did have the virtual reality glasses on watching this, then you could just sit there and you could just do it. You know, I'm thinking about buying a pair of those just so I can see what that's going to look like.